Man, imagine how cool it would be if we were ruled by a billionaire, professional orgy organizer, third world dictator, plastic surgery enthusiast, fashion icon, and self-proclaimed political philosopher, all at the same time. Yeah, that would be so cool, man. It's a shame that would never happen.
Hello boys, Italian model sex party in 10 minutes. Come.
In this video, we will tell you about the insane life of the most iconic dictator the third world ever had, Muammar Gaddafi. Before he had a team of hot virgin babes with gold-plated guns as his personal bodyguards, Gaddafi was once a very poor kid from a desert tribe in Libya. His father was a very poor, illiterate goat herder in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Despite this, everyone in the village somehow recognized that Gaddafi was a genius, at least by illiterate goat herder standards, and they pooled their money together to send him to a school in the city. In the city, all the rich kids initially made fun of him for being a weirdo from the desert who barely knew how to read. Go eat sand, desert boy! Where is your pet goat, Berber kid? But soon enough, he skipped many grades and became extremely popular. I wanna eat sand with you, desert boy. Please let me pet your goat, Berber kid. Eventually, he made it into the army and made a secret organization with plans to overthrow the king. The problem, however, was that his secret organization was made of dumb, borderline mentally deficient soldiers and had no real political power. His organization was so harmless that when the king found out about his secret retard reunions and plot to overthrow the government, all he said was, "Meh, let the desert boy play." Anyways, the Libyan people hated the pro-Western king so much that it was obvious he would eventually suffer a coup. You would think that the coup would come from one of the many elite groups hungry for power, right? Wrong. One day, when the king was traveling, Gaddafi got wind of rumors that a group of elites was about to launch a coup and he freaked out. So in a huge boys will be boys moment, Gaddafi and his group of borderline mentally deficient soldiers started their coup by just walking into and occupying government buildings. To everybody's, including Gaddafi's surprise, nobody even bothered to resist his coup. From this day on, he would be the supreme leader of the huge desert we know as Libya. In the first years of his dictatorship, he resigned twice, only to come back 1 month later.
Habibi, you know, this thing of being the absolute ruler of an oil-rich country kind of sucks. I think I prefer being a goat herder in the desert. I will resign. Psych! Give me more power!
As a dictator, he could finally express his true self and show the entire world what a beautiful and complex soul he had. He started by changing the country's flag several times, eventually landing on a beautiful design, an all-green rectangle which represented his own imaginary political ideology. Since he saw himself as a genius philosopher, he came up with an alternative to both Western capitalism and Soviet communism, which he summarized in, you guessed it, his Green Book.
Ha! I finally solved political philosophy. Libya will become an utopia.
Sure, Gaddafi, you truly are a genius.
Change the flag again. Now I want it to be only green.
Funnily enough, he started as a social conservative, promoting Islamic morality. But eventually, he became known for his alcohol and drug-fueled orgies. It is rumored that at one point, he spent more than $2 million per month on extravagant parties, hiring traditional Arabic artists such as Beyoncé and Mariah Carey. One day, he came to the conclusion that he was a Libyan fashion icon. He never wore a suit, always sporting bizarre outfits because he rejected Western fashion. He once said,
Whatever I wear becomes a fad. I wear a certain shirt and suddenly everyone is wearing it.
After years of partying like a Miami gangster rapper and spending his nation's oil money on shitty plastic surgeries, he once decided to do something a little different with women. He put out an ad in an Italian modeling agency for 200 attractive girls, 5'7" or taller, to come meet him at a house in Rome. After making them wait for several hours, Gaddafi appeared in an all-black uniform with a black beret, locked them in the room, and started preaching the Quran for several hours. Such a noble act from such a pious leader. However, Not all that Gaddafi did was low IQ political philosophy, drug-fueled orgies, and preaching the Quran to Italian models. Gaddafi also really liked to order his minions to blow stuff up in other countries. He sponsored explosions in a nightclub in Berlin, the bombing of a French and of a British flight. He sponsored the Irish Republican Army and many other bombings around the world. Anyways, how did his story end? In 2011, the Libyan people got tired of his shenanigans and decided they should have the power. They did just as their great leader once taught them: walk into the palace and take over the government. Once they got there and found Gaddafi hiding inside a drainage pipe, they decided to thank him for his 40 years of leadership by inserting a bayonet deep into his buttocks, then moving his body to an industrial freezer to display it in public for 5 days. Moral of the story: never give up in your dreams of becoming a third world dictator. Sometimes you can just walk into the palace and take power. But never forget, what goes around comes around, usually as a huge bayonet inside your bum bum.